Yo, welcome to another episode of the Bjj Goons podcast. I'm your host, Tim, the Mushmaster Spriggs, and with me, as always, every week is...
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Nico Ball, no new Nico. No clue why I'm actually wearing headphones. That's not going to happen for the entire episode, but yeah. What's up?
What's up with me?
Yeah, what's up with you? How you doing, Tim?
The beard got longer, the fro's growing out more. I'm getting closer and closer to transitioning into Hotep Tim.
Is that why you're wearing the hat to hide that awkward stage of the afro?
Yes, absolutely. And let you guys know that I mean business, and I'm going to teach these devils 1 week at a time.
One episode at a time.
One episode at a
Wait, whoa,
time.
whoa, whoa. So we when we get in the studio, we film multiple episodes first. What the hell are we filming? This is a normal one, right? You ain't about to go off right now.
Oh, no, you got to pay for that.
Okay. I'm just making sure we ain't filming the Patreon first. All right.
No, we're not filming the Patreon first. You guys are going to get a nice episode today. I mean, some of the things we say aren't going to be very nice, but if you really want to see us get into the shits, you have to go to patreon.com/BJJGoons. We don't just talk about pressing matters in the BJJ community. We also talk about techniques. You know, I show techniques on there. We have breakdowns. We have bonus content from the guests that we bring on where they can speak more freely and get really into the really, really real. And that's all I got to say about that. But today we are going to talk about some nicer things. We got some nice fan mail. We're getting love from all the peeps and the goons and the goon squad everywhere. So, you know, it's going to be a nice episode today. What's new with you, though?
I say you were saying it was gonna be a nice episode, but I seen the comments and y'all was liking the dark place. You know, I don't know if you saw them on YouTube. The people were like, "We need more episodes like this," which is hilarious.
I'm all for it, honestly. It kind of inspires me. I'm driven by spite in a lot of ways. And, you know, I'm a happy person, but lately there's nothing really nothing to be happy about in 90% of the things that's going on in the world. So I say screw it. Let's just do it. We can be dark. If that's what you guys want, let's go for it. We're gonna answer to the fans that give us feedback. You know. If you realistically, I mean, shout out to everyone that commented on the last YouTube. Shout out to everyone that liked it, that shares our stuff, that hits us up. You know, shout out to you guys. So we're gonna cater things to you. And if you want darkness, we can give you darkness.
Screw the light, screw the light. So, I think you asked what's new with me, but nothing really. Like, shit, when is this gonna drop? This is gonna drop like
Monday.
the last Monday, last week in August, which would be like a couple weeks before I actually have surgery for my torn labrum. I think a lot of people know about that, especially the people that have been following me on Instagram. Thank you for everybody that's been sending their love and support. The last 2 days actually have been kind of crappy where it's just like my whole body feels like really tight. So luckily, like I work at a gym, so like in between whatever I'm doing, like I just like roll around on the ground on a foam roller or with the S joint thing that Osiris showed us when we had that interview with him. I think it was like in the 90s, the episode, if y'all want to check it out. And then if you're a patron, this week we dropped his extra video that he made for us because he was talking about the BJJ warm-ups. And I know a lot of people, we got a lot of response from that. Because I know Tim is the only person I see on the team that ever does warm-ups at TLI. It's like, because they'll be like, yeah, you got 15 minutes, go do your warm-up if you want to do warm-up. And then we'll like drill, and everybody just like sits on the mat, like half-ass stretching and talking to each other. Tim is the only one that'll do like the little laps and then like stretch out the hamstrings and the squats and like the stuff like that. So we dropped a video where Osiris talks about the importance of stretching, how you can go and warm up like every joint in your body with your neck, with your shoulders. It's like a 35 long minute video. So like if you are the type that doesn't like to sit still, but you do have like an issue in a specific part of your body, just like fast forward to, you know, that part, because he does break down some really good tips for each joint. And then on the Patreon video, I dropped all the book recommendations, so you can see the books that he recommends and the links. So that's actually been really helpful to me when I've been like kind of in pain, just kind of going back and remember like, yo, I didn't even get up and like try to stretch out today. So I need to make sure that I focus on that stuff. So you guys should go check that out and make sure to follow him on Instagram at Airfire Yoga because I gotta throw in that that sales support the community, and I appreciate all of y'all that have been doing that because even somebody hit me up about Jai's comic, a teacher, because he said people might be interested in that, and that really matters to people. I'm not gonna make any money off that, but yo, that's money in Jai's hand, so that's what's up. What's new with you, Tim? What's new with you? You still pissed off? Have you gotten any money and resolved any things there?
Nothing's been resolved. Nothing's been resolved. Nothing's been resolved. I'm going to snap, people. I'm going to snap. I'm going to go crazy. All right. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to go crazy. What are you laughing at? I'm descending into madness. But, every once in a while, there's little things that brings joy to my heart. It makes me feel as though maybe I shouldn't go crazy and there are good people in this world. We got some fan mail this week, didn't we, Nico?
Oh yeah, I was like, what are you talking about?
We did. I haven't gone crazy yet. Damn. I'm trying to segue into this fan mail.
Did you get positive fan mail? Is the fan mail positive though?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's positive fan mail, Nico. I'm going to read it to you guys. Um, he didn't really give his name. I don't know if he wants to give his name out there.
Does it have his actual name on his Instagram?
No.
The letter.
It's a letter.
G.
G.
Oh, G.
So here it goes. Yo, I love y'all's podcast. I listened to the latest and y'all had me rolling with the will we even be on time? This was in reference to African descendants of slaves starting their own Olympic team. To add to that, Liberia is a nation of former slaves. They modeled their entire country and constitution after America. My comment in question. I noticed in the past podcasts you guys were referencing the low-key racist environment that's present in the jiu-jitsu community on the East Coast. I, being black in Los Angeles, am curious if y'all know of any such cultures out here. I started at 10th Planet, not HQ, and I was always the only black dude. My new gi school, I think the school is 5% black, which is kind of reflecting my local area. I never feel uncomfortable. Just curious. I want my dollars going to the right place. Learning about Team Lloyd Irvin and Crazy 88 is amazing and inspirational. It's beautiful to see people that look like me with all the BJJ knowledge. Y'all like the mecca for black people in jiu-jitsu in America. Look forward to your response. Sent to both goons. Well, first, I want to say thank you for sending that letter to us. It was very thoughtful. I could tell you spent time formulating what you were going to ask us, and I loved that you sent it to us. So once again, thank you very much. I don't know if you want us to say your name, so I'm going to just keep you incognito. So thanks again. But Nico, what are your thoughts about this?
See, that's what I was thinking if it was kind of negative. Like, if you think about the low-key racists everywhere, I'll look at what I responded to him, I guess. I think, like, for me, there are low-key racists everywhere. And LA, I feel like most people that are in LA, like I know one girl, white belt, went out there to train, and she was black, but like it wasn't the racist thing that it was the issue. It was just like fake people. Like I think you get a lot of that in LA, a lot in DC. You get a lot of fake people because of the Capitol and the politicians and everything. So I think you'll see that everywhere, no matter where you go. And it doesn't really matter, like, if it's a black-owned business or if you're always surrounded by black people. It's definitely about the energy that you feel in the environment. And being conscious of where you do spend your money because this is capitalism, and capitalism means like everything's based on where you're spending your money. So if you feel like it's a great environment, then great, like stay there. But like if you feel like it's a crappy environment, then like maybe you need to look for a different place or a different school. And it doesn't have to be black owned, it doesn't have to be primarily black. It just has to be a place where you can feel supported. And only you're really gonna know that. Like you have to feel good.
My response would be No matter where you are in this country, racism is pervasive and entrenched in every facet of life. And jujitsu is no exception. I'm going to agree with Nico here. We're a capitalist society. Where you spend your money is very important. If you feel comfortable where you're training, you feel as though the people there are supportive of you, and you feel camaraderie, I say stay there because no matter where you go, there's going to be fake people and phony people. And you can't be afraid of leaving if the vibe isn't right. You always got to do your vibe checks. Overall, I don't think it's low key racism in the community. We spent the last year and a half being at home, looking on social media, and a lot of prominent figures in the game showed that they don't like black people. Let's be honest. Like, they don't like us. They don't want us in this old boys club, which is jujitsu. They made it abundantly clear. And if someone shows you who they really are, you got to believe them. And my suggestion would be, if you see those people, curate your timeline. You can curate your timeline. You don't have to support them because by you liking, sharing, interacting, you're giving them traction and you are supporting them.
Wait, right there. Shout out to the goons because I see y'all doing that. Like, and I see y'all even jokingly will comment on my stories like, "This is engagement." Boom, and like 4 words, and as a joke. But like, that's really what you have to do when you see content that you want. Not just with us, but like, yeah, you really have to engage in that stuff. And I see y'all out there doing it, so it's funny. But thank you for doing it, and it will help. It will.
It will make you feel better. I don't know too much about the Los Angeles area when it comes to gyms because I don't know too many people. And when I say I don't know too many people, I mean I don't know too many people. I like to keep to myself. There's only about a handful of people that know what's going on in my life, and I can't ever co-sign somebody or give someone a stamp as to their character unless I really know them. And even then, I have to vet their environment. So I'm sorry, I can't help you as to who to go to in Los Angeles. Uh, I'm sorry, I can't really help you with that. But I will say that there's cool people I know out there that could probably help. Erin Hurley, she knows the jiu-jitsu scene very well. She's been to different teams. She's trained other great people, and she's one of my closest friends. So if you hit her up, it's Erin Herle. DM her, just be like, yo, I'm in the LA area. Who's cool? Who's not? I would suggest you hit her up for sure. Um, as for everything else, man, thanks again for hitting us up. I'm glad we could answer your question. I hope we answered it well, you know. So, thanks. And if you guys have any fan mail, you want to show us some love, feel free to slide in the DMs at BJJ Goons Podcast on Instagram, or you can hit up Nico at No New Nico, or you can hit up me at Tim Spriggs BJJ on Instagram. I don't really do Facebook. I don't, unless I'm posting to YouTube.
Yeah, I'm really bad at Facebook. I'm really, really bad at that. What
Mm.
else did I want to like point out for social media is because we're gonna talk a lot about all of this racist shit, but like for you, when you want to go find something else, that page like a martial artist.
Martial art ish. That is a genius Instagram.
I'm trying to find something, and then if you want to find the pages, like you save their posts again to help with the algorithm, because a lot of times I can't find them. Um, and if they get shadow banned, it'll make it even harder. So like if you just save one of their posts and then you can find their actual page. So it's mixed martial art ish, like just mixed martial art, and then ISH at the end. So they post, it's like the onion of jujitsu. For example, famous BJJ men would like you to know how sexual assault reckoning affects them and their enemies. The world of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu has erupted into an overdue discussion of the present predatory behavior in the sport and the culture of enabling that allows it to fester. With the conversation taking over the BJJ discourse, many of the sport's biggest names have broken their silence on inclusivity and safety to discuss what the epidemic of abuse in the sport means for them personally. I can't help noticing how this cover up of multiple children being assaulted is an opportunity to position myself as a good guy in my feud with Fight Sport, said the world champion Gordon Ryan. I couldn't in good conscience stay silent at a time like this or take the stance against the minors who were abused, like the time I said that the fancy amenities and travel provided by Jeffrey Epstein negated the negative effects of his abuse network because of the inescapable weight of the fact that those being accused of maleficence are also my personal enemies for unrelated reasons. So that's the kind of stuff that you get from them. That brightens up my morning on top of the actual racist bullshit that I see. So if you want to check them out, go follow their page.
Word. I get a good chuckle. It takes me off the ledge, because I am going to form Hotep Tim eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's coming. Maybe it's because I'm a little burned out by everything. I haven't had a vacation
Mm.
in almost, it's about to be like, yeah, 2 years. 2 years. I haven't had time to myself where I didn't have to worry about work, where I didn't have to grind shit out. And I am burned out mentally. Physically, I feel great. Everyone's starting to think I'm on steroids for some reason. I feel
Because you're
great and I look
training and you
great.
can't afford food because you don't have a real job.
I can afford food.
No, I'm just playing.
I can afford food.
I
I
was like,
can.
that's one reason for some other people might be. It's hard times. We're still living in a pandemic.
Yeah, word. We are. I forget. It's the new normal. You ever notice how, speaking of training, you're training and at one point earlier in your career, it felt as though you were being tortured every day, but eventually it just became the new normal. You kind of leveled up in a positive way. The fact that we're forgetting that there's an ongoing pandemic and we're just going about our business, that's leveling up. That's leveling down, actually, as a society. Pretty sad, but I am burned out. And I've been burned out before, but this has been a long burnout. And the topic of today, one of the topics, is handling burnout. So, Nico, how do you handle burnout?
That's a tough one. I think for me, one of the things is making sure um, that I schedule time to relax. Like, for example, this week, today's my day off, and I'm taking off on Saturday, but it's just a day off from one job, and I'm here filming, which makes me like drive over here, and it's a whole lot. And then Saturday I ran Dory, so it's like those are 2 days off that aren't actually days off. So that means like I've had no days off going through like maybe I don't remember when the last day I had off was. So like that's something that I know that like, oh, okay, after filming, I need to take that into consideration and really like kind of think of when am I going to schedule like a day off or a day for me. For example, I had a massage last Friday, but I got a flat tire. So that Friday and like that massage was supposed to be the time that I had scheduled into my busy schedule to try to avoid breakout, to like break down or to relax. But that got canceled. So I need to be very conscious that I need to do something else. I like oddly enough, one of the things that I like do to force myself to stop working or stop overtraining is I'll go get like manicures or pedicures, which seems really weird, but like with a pedicure you can get like a spa pedicure, so they give you a foot massage, and I know that's just like 2 or 3 hours where like I'm not working, I can't be texting on my phone because they're doing my nails, and it's just time that I force myself to relax. So I think it's very important that like especially if you're training and you're competing and you're fighting a lot, like, and you have the pressure from all of your coaches that are telling you that you need to train 7 days a week or you need to do this to be a world champion. You also have to have that autonomy to self-advocate, is what we call it in education. Is like you need to know when to stop, and it's important that you know your own body. And that's really the only way, like, you're the only person that can avoid your own burnout, I think. So that's something that I do.
I've been burned out several times, and what struck a chord with me when you said you have pressure from your coaches telling you you need to train 7 days a week. I think that burnout is caused by internal and external unrealistic expectations. I'm going to say this again. I believe that burnout is caused by internal and external unrealistic expectations. In our minds, we feel as though things should be a certain way. But how you feel and what's real are two totally different things. In your heart, you may want to train 7 days a week, 2 to 3 times a day, no break, eat, sleep, breathe, whatever sport or lifestyle that you choose to do. However, in reality, that's not possible. Unless there's something mentally wrong with you, that is not possible. And if you can do it for a little while, it's not going to last. You will get burned out. I also believe that burnout can be very long term. I've seen people that loved jujitsu and they had beautiful jujitsu. I've seen guys that did things that to this day, me and my other teammates talk about are in awe of. Guys that, if they had stuck with it, would have made all the stars of the day pale in comparison. But they got burned out. They had people around them put unrealistic expectations on them, and that's mental fatigue. The mind is infinite, but the mind, if not controlled, can weigh on you and can break you. You can break yourself physically and mentally. That's why if you feel some type of way, if you feel burned out, you have to take it extremely serious. I say you need to take your time off, your breaks, as serious, if not more serious, than your training. That's not to say that you should just go on your day off and get absolutely hammered every weekend or whatever day you take. That doesn't mean you eat a bunch of junk food. That doesn't mean you just are reckless. But you have to plan out your time off, schedule it, decide what is important to you in those sessions where you are taking a break just as seriously. Burnout is not short term. That's the one thing I want you guys to remember. It cannot be short term. There are times where people are burnt out for years and people still keep going, but I think a huge factor to when you see these athletes have mental breaks or when they get popped for using recreational drugs or like to the Simone Biles instance where I think a part of her getting the twisties, a part of her like Naomi Osaka not wanting to speak to the media is burnout. There's only so much that you can give, and people give and give and give, but everyone falls off. All runs come to an end. Some of your favorite music artists, they have slumps. Stevie Wonder had a run in the 70s, which is unmatched. We can argue. I mean, there's always exceptions, but he had a run that was unmatched. But eventually, we have stinkers. Eventually, it burns out. So you got to take your time off just as seriously. That's how I combat it. I schedule my training a certain way that I can optimize it and I can still have fun. I can still have my head in the game because there are times where you can go through the motions, but if every day you're just going through the motions, you're never going to grow. So you have to register that. You have to take that into account. Also, I plan out my free time accordingly so that it's organized. And sometimes you just want to say, screw it. I'm not doing shit today. I just need to take a mental health day. And it's not going to be scheduled. But in your soul, in your heart, in your third eye, you're going to know when it's time to take time off.
I think I don't know if a lot of people know this, but like Mackenzie Dern, she used to when she did her first MMA fight, she was training with Winklejohn in New Mexico, and she got kicked out of their team because she was in California at the beach, and they wanted her at the gym training, and she's like, I'm not coming back until I want to come back. Like I want to train, and I'm not going to train until I want to train again. And like they didn't like that mentality, but like that was her being like, this is what's best for me. And like she took that stand, and then I think she went to Black House after that. But like that was important. Like she was a black belt world champion. She knew what was best for her, you know? So people need to kind of make that stand and not get swayed by their coaches.
And if you already are a champion, you know what it takes to be a champion. You know yourself better. If you're a new person, I mean, you probably don't really know shit. So I would defer to experts, but at a certain point, you got to be able to master yourself. Now, I'm not saying have a coach nobody where nobody's your coach, but you should be able to master your own ship.
I'm going to say, like, no, you shouldn't. You should go get some therapy, probably. A lot of people need some therapy, and a lot of people should probably either a sports psychologist or an actual therapist. Look for a therapist if you're burnt out. Like, that whole I can watch a YouTube video and read a book and master myself isn't always true. Like, I've gone to therapy, and I'm looking for a therapist now. So that's one of my main issues with this whole, like, thing with that's been going on with the sexual predators in jiu-jitsu. Nobody's recommending any actual resources to the victims. They're just like spouting their own knowledge like they're therapists, and they're not. Like, so it's very dangerous to tell a victim of sexual assault to do anything but look for a professional like a therapist. And you learn skills in therapy. Like, for example, even now that I don't have therapy, like going through journaling and like journaling certain questions, it's like, well, like, who do you go to when you have a problem? Or like, what do you do for fun? And like if you do those and you actually write down the answers, like one thing I realized about myself is like I don't do anything for fun that's not work. Like or smoking weed, which is a drug. So it's like those are the only outlets I have. And like that made me very aware that I don't have any healthy outlets in my life. And the only way I was going to get to that was by seeking a therapist. And some people actually need medication. So again, all of these people telling sexual assault victims to like, oh, get on my discourse instead of seeking a therapist, you're fucking ridiculous.
That's some cold game right there.
Mm-hmm.
Some cold game. Let's end on a lighter note. Let's talk a little bit about books that influenced and inspired us. How about that? Something a little bit lighter, something positive. I say all the time we need to start reading. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I don't read as much as I should. I got some couple books on my nightstand that have yet to be finished, but I'm gonna work on it because I'm taking a social media hiatus because you people are freaking nuts. So, Nico, what is a book or books that changed your life?
I would say one of my favorite books and the most influential would be a fictional book, which would be La hija de la fortuna. I guess I forgot that that is entirely in Spanish. So translated, that would be The Daughter of Fortune. It is in English. It is by Isabel Allende. So she is from Chile, which is the same place, and she is actually related to Salvador Allende, who was the president, and he was killed by the U.S. in a coup. So a lot of Latin American fiction is like written in a way that's called cuentos fantásticos or realismo mágico. So it's like a fictional book, or it's meant to be like real, but they mix in like certain things of like magic, like her skin being purple or this or that. So in this book, it tells about this girl, and it goes on to tell about like she knew like Pablo Neruda. So they mix actual things about like his history with the fiction. And then like she's a girl that like writes down everything. So they say like her entire life is in like a series of notebooks that she has like wrapped up in like a ribbon. And since like I write everything and I have millions and millions of notebooks places, like I really like that story. I like the historical context. I like how it's put in like a fictional or like fantastical way. It makes you feel a little bit better about stuff. And it's also very educational because if you think about like all of the oppression in South America, which most Americans, especially the BJJ community, forget, the only way for these people to tell their story was to tell it in ways that seemed like it was fake. So it has like a lot of context like that. The other two of my favorite books would be 1984 and A Brave New World. Um, I would definitely recommend going to look them up. Like 1984 and the Big Brother kind of thing is the reason why I have no series or Alexa. I would like one. It just really forces you to be conscious of exactly what's happening now, which is like your life being taken over by social media. A Brave New World is similar to that, and we see that a lot with this sexual hierarchy of things. It talks about like a society where it's just kind of cold and callous, and it's kind of what we're turning into today. So they're very interesting books.
I had three books that changed my life. The first one, Revolutionary Suicide by Huey P. Newton. I got this book my senior year of high school for Christmas. And it's one of those books where I read it cover to cover non-stop. I'm the type of reader where if I'm interested, I drop everything and read it cover to cover. And this is no exception. I love this book because it tore down all kinds of misconceptions that I was taught that I kind of ignored because I don't believe anything of what I hear and half of what I see. And I wanted to read the book, the story, straight from the horse's mouth. And Huey P. Newton talks about his life. And very importantly, he talks about the Black Panther Party for self defense. And what I learned from that was that just life lessons is that people are going to tell you certain things to suit their agenda. And it's very important that you document, there's a word again, document your story so that in the future people can know what's going down. Because what I learned from that book was that it wasn't a terrorist group. I always felt that it never was, but it wasn't a terrorist group. They didn't hate white people. They were very liberal. Even by today's standards, they were very liberal. They wanted a multi ethnic coalition, all those things. They wanted to actually help people. And they were willing to take a stand and they were willing to die for it because they were people of principle. And that principle took me a long way. It changed my perception. And when it comes to life, you got to live by principles no matter what they are. And if people think it's wrong, screw them. If people think it's right, okay, cool. But you probably don't like something else about me. So that book definitely changed my perspective on what's really going on. And if you guys read it, I mean, it's hard to find an actual like original copy. I have an original copy here. Uh, Read it. You're going to see that the things have not really changed. And then if you go back in history further, it's always been a fight for independence of yourself, you know. So knowledge of self is very important. The other two that come to mind are The Alchemist. I think it's by Paulo Coelho.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people, cause it was funny, cause this week, and I think a lot of our viewers saw it. Like, I asked for book recommendations on Instagram, and I got a lot of them. And The Alchemist was recommended by a lot of people too.
And the mind is infinite, like I said. And that book definitely tells you that you learn that the mind is infinite. And if you want something, and if you work for it, or you just desperately desire it, the world will conspire to give it to you. And the OG of OGs for me, the one I read like way young, the Autobiography of Malcolm X. If you haven't read it, read the book. This is one of the examples where the book is way better than the movie. I mean, my opinions of Malcolm X has kind of changed over perspective wise. Like certain things that I want to go over and dissect in my own mind. But the story of being able to go above and beyond your circumstances and how you don't let life break you and how you can change. Like everyone can change very quickly, too, if you want it, if you desire it, and if you have the right mentors, and if you have something in your heart. Don't let anyone break you. If you feel as though something's right, don't let it stop you, no matter what. Even death can't stop your vision because damn near almost 100 years since he was born, people are still talking about him. So those are the three books that inspired me. Hopefully can end on some levity, something light, something lighthearted, something positive. And if you haven't read those books, go to your local library.
Oh, I got more fan DMs asking about Randoria on Saturday if we will be there. So yes, we will be doing the commentary and hanging out because I believe it's at a hotel. So yeah, come through. Come up, chill with us afterwards. That'll be dope.
Yeah, come kick it with us. It's right by Annapolis, one of my old stomping grounds.
Yeah, it's at the DoubleTree in Annapolis, correct?
Yes, very much so. Yes, the Doubletree Annapolis. Oh man, it's gonna be a really good time. Go to rjjc1.com to register if you want to compete. I mean, it might be too late to compete, but you can always go there and get tickets. Come say hi to us.
Yeah, you can. There's also going to be an online live stream, so you can check that out. I know there were some issues with the sound during the first one. They have been worked out. Yeah, it's at a hotel, so there's about 15 confirmed matches. We have some kids, some people coming down from New York. We got some female matches, and yeah, it'll be dope.
All right, one last thing for me. I just want to say shout out to Blue Edge Business. Don't forget to check out our friends at Blue Edge Business for all your digital marketing, web development, and graphic design needs. They can help you with anything from Facebook ads and Google ads to websites and landing pages. Tell them Tim Spriggs sent you and get a special discount. Nico, where can we find you?
Make sure to follow me on Instagram at No New Nico. Everything Favela Jiu-Jitsu, Favela. For everybody that doesn't know, Favela Jiu-Jitsu. Cash App and Venmo, the same thing if you want to drop some money.
Yeah, you can catch me at Tim Spriggs BJJ on Instagram or Facebook or timspriggsbjj.com. I do game plans. I do virtual and in-person private lessons. I do seminars. I even critique your matches. So go to timspriggsbjj.com. This has been the Bjj Goons podcast. Peace.
Wait, I'm not going to end it there. One other thing, Nogi Worlds is coming up. Next time we film, we got to film the tutorials for the Patreon. So now would be a great time if you're going to Nogi Worlds or if you just have any other questions in general to drop them on the Patreon because we're filming next week. Peace.